The Sennheiser MD421 Kompakt cardioid dynamic microphone is the modern development of the classic MD421, first released in 1960. The MD421 was specifically designed with a directional polar pattern for studio use as an evolution of the omnidirectional MD421 broadcast mic released in 1953. The Kompakt is a shorter version of the original MD421, weighing in at 159 grams, less than half the 370 grams of the original. Sennheiser have reduced the weight by shrinking the mic, as you can see, whilst retaining the high build quality you expect from German engineering. The smaller form factor makes it a more versatile microphone in terms of placement, where the previous design was somewhat limiting due to its size. The smaller format also provides the option of rim mounting the microphone to drums, saving the need for additional stands and floor space. Sennheiser have removed the switchable frequency filters on the original. The thinking is that the high-pass filtering is now done digitally in the box in the post-production phase of the recording process. This saves you about £100 per microphone. They've also replaced the previous removable clip design, which was notorious for getting loose and failing over time, with a solid clip incorporated directly into the microphone housing itself. The mic has a tight polar pattern for excellent off-axis rejection, which we'll hear later. The frequency response chart shows a gentle roll-off below 80 Hz whilst extending down to 30 Hz from 17 kHz, with a gentle lift in the upper mid-range for clarity and articulation. The question is, how do they compare sonically? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Thorne. It's good to see you. I've compiled various audio comparisons for you on different parts of a drum kit. Let me know your thoughts about them in the comments as we go through the video. If at any point you consider buying this microphone or any of your home studio gear, I've left links in the description below. Purchasing through these is a great way to support the channel if you found value in this content. To put these microphones in context, I've recorded a full drum kit with the following additional Sennheiser microphones. I used the new Kompakts on the kick, snare top and the two toms, then an E904 under the snare, an E906 on the hats, and two E914s as overheads. So I've used the E900 series live for many years. They're slightly tuned for live sound, delivering a controlled sound. They're compact, robust, and flawlessly reliable microphones. Oh, and FYI, I recorded the drum audio for this video through the new Universal Audio Apollo X8P Gen 2 audio interface, utilizing the new auto gain feature, which automatically sets the optimal input gain for each microphone in just 10 seconds, making recording drums on your own, like I do, very, very easy. Check out this video for the full review. So I think these mics sound awesome. Tonally, they're very pure and clear and capture exactly what I hear in the room. With a little bit of bus processing, we can make this sound even better. When recording a drum kit, mic placement is essential, partly to capture the optimal tone of each source, but also to minimize the bleed of other parts of the drum kit bleeding into each microphone. For example, the hi-hats bleeding into the snare drum mic becomes a big problem in the mixing phase when compression is applied, which will effectively raise the level of the background noise in the audio. Now, when it comes to the 421 Kompakts, check this out. The off-axis rejection of the hi-hats, which were only inches above the microphone, is incredible. Alright, let's dive a little deeper and compare these microphones on kick, snare and floor tom in isolation with some other Sennheiser microphones for further comparison. The E602 and 902 capture more sub-frequency content, with the 902 delivering a very smiley face EQ. But the 421s would complement this beautifully in a dual microphone setup in the studio, delivering the mid-range to complement that smiley face. The 421s sound open on the snare whilst delivering the most mid-range content, including the resonance in this case. The 604 and 904 are tuned to remove this slightly, giving you a more processed sound, but arguably a less flexible sound. These mics all sound very similar on the floor tom, but what's impressive is how they all capture so much sustain and such a pure sound. In terms of transient response, of course, a dynamic mic is going to be faster and capture the attack and stick strike better, but at the cost of picking up everything else due to their wider polar patterns. I think the 421s are perfect on toms, capturing just the right amount of tack and smoothness. The original MD421 and the new Kompakt sound virtually identical. I think any sonic difference you're hearing is more likely caused by the minor differences in placement than capsule design, which from the sounds of it and comparing the frequency response chart, I believe remains the same. I feel the 421s deliver a more open sound to the 600s and 900s, which is preferable in the studio. The 600s and 900s are of course designed for live sound, where a small footprint is arguably the priority. The 900s are tuned to produce a controlled sound, which does work very well live, but some may feel it is limiting in the studio. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So I have used tons of microphones from every brand available, both live and in the studio, and Sennheiser have just always got it right. The form factor across the range, the ergonomics, the sound quality and the build quality are always just spot on. The new MD421 Kompakts are a great continuation of a legacy microphone and are definitely staying on my drum kit here in the studio. I've been Thorne, it's been emotional. Thanks for watching.